Okay.
But then that comes into these guys here, is that as well, if I need a little bit of a different type of energy or flow or something like that, I'll simply put this onto, generally I put it onto the left side because energy tends to run from the left to the right. So I usually put it on the left side and see how the energy is flowing that way, because there's so many different ways that energy kind of moves that it's a way of monitoring a lot of different things. You feeling something?
You're my tongue.
Oh, yeah. It's ready to go. Yeah. So that's definitely one thing. This I've used a lot more on sports injuries just because it's easier to put in a sock or put somewhere or whatever. It's a little bit easier to manage. But yes.
And is it best with that to set an intention as well? Like go to the knee, whatever the hurt is?
It wouldn't hurt, but it's going to do it anyway. It's definitely going to do it anyway, for sure. So that is sort of my 5-minute routine in terms of being able to clear the entire field. I use the 9-inch rings because a lot of times our energy is completely out of everywhere. So it's a really good way to bring energies in that are crazy all over the place. Okay. Then I use the pyramid to be able to go in and release attachments from certain places. So if I used the sun ring on your shoulder and it wasn't getting any better, and I was just noticing that there was a traumatic event that needed to be released, or maybe an emotional type of attachment that needed to be released, that's where I bring in the pyramids. So the first thing that I do with the pyramid is that I will place it about a foot away from them, and this is just to ground them. So this is step number 1. And we're gonna put this here for about 30 seconds. And this is just to be able to bring you back into the space.
After the sun.
After the sun ring, yeah. So we do the neutralizing, the sun, and then the pyramids. Okay. All right. So I'm going to place that here. How does that make you feel?
Light.
Light, good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up with the flat part facing you. And I am slowly, and I can feel it kind of stuck a little bit around here, a little bit clearer. It's a little bit in through the chakras. So I am going to do that again. And you'll notice that at the end that I do a little flick, and that is just to send the energy to where it needs to go. So that's, I'm gonna do 3 passes up the front. Okay, and I'm noticing that it's getting a little bit lighter and a little bit less blocked. There's a couple of places. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start sweeping like Christmas tree. So I'm going from side to side on either side, and this is just to get the different types of energies, but it's also to get rid of any attachments or anything that's coming off that I need to come off. So if you have something that is really struggling, something that you really need to have removed, you might find yourself using this tool for 30 seconds, even up to a few minutes. It's taken me to release some pains and some attachments, but it will definitely go.
And is this something you can use on yourself as well, or is this a practitioner tool?
This is mostly, I would say, a practitioner tool. But you can also, like you were standing in front of it like that, I stand in front of it in order to completely align my chakras. So it is quite possible to use in your personal life as well. All right. So something going on with the stomach there, obviously, but we'll keep moving. Okay, and that feels pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna go that way. Then I'm also gonna do each side. And the way that I'm gonna do my sides, perfect if you just, is as well, you just come from the very bottom. So we always start at the bottom and we come up. So I'm just gonna do my little Christmas tree and I go kind of back and forth, crossing over the line. So I don't go up like this. I'm trying to touch every space and I'm really just trying to come from the side to the side. So just that I pass by all the different sides of Jen. The nice thing with this tool as well is you can, and all of these tools, is that you can set the intention if you don't have access to all four sides. If your client is laying down, you can set the intention that you want it to clear the front and the back at the same time. So sometimes if you're laying in bed, you will set the intention that you want it to work on all aspects of your body and not just the one that it's touching. Okay, and I can come up here and I feel actually that this shoulder has cleared quite a bit, but there's a little bit in through more of the back. So that's how I work the sides. Now when I go to work the back, I do it very similar as I do from the front. I can leave that there for another 30 seconds and I'm just helping to create that really strong grounding effect. And I'm really bringing that root chakra into effect. And then I'm just going to be pulling it up just like I did on the front. I'm not going from side to side, but I'm just pulling it up. And then if I feel like there's a little bit of a heaviness, I can actually then go in and start sweeping away, if you will, some of the negative things that I'm feeling or some of the heavy energy that I'm feeling. What does that feel like to you in there, Jen?
Feels good. I definitely could feel it through here.
Yeah?
It makes me feel light.
Good.
And I want to move my feet.
You want to keep moving, eh? Yeah, good. Good. So then I'm feeling like things are getting a little bit more cleared. So that's still only one pass for me. So I am going to pass along here and then I'm going to come through and do another pass. And maybe I might come a little bit more on the side and do another pass like this. And another pass like this, and then we have one last side to do. We're going to start here at the bottom. All right, so just going on this side by side here. And so this whole process of doing the sun rings is probably more along the lines of 20 minutes. And then I generally add on about 10 minutes doing the chakra aligning and the meridian alignments, which is what we do with the pyramids. And then I also have a piece of shungite that is in this as well, which is good that if I have somebody who wants to set an intention, we can also put the intention inside of the shungite, and it is even much more powerful.